Alright, now this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a little while, and I've talked about it a little bit in another video, but we're going to be reacting to a video by T-Dog Smitty. Now, he's a respected content creator in the Call of Duty space. He does Call of Duty content, and he's never negative at all unless he's talking about a game he doesn't like. He's always very positive whenever it comes to new games and whatever, so he's usually like the goody-goody two-shoes of Call of Duty content. And today I want to talk about Call of Duty actually, so we're going to be reacting to the video. Now, in the last video that I made about it, I was just mainly complaining about Call of Duty Mobile, because they shut down Call of Duty Warzone Mobile because they put it into a developer's hands who've never developed mobile games before. Now, I've talked about it in the last video. If you guys want to go see that, you guys can go react to it. It is called Why I Don't Like Call of Duty Anymore. I'm pretty sure it's what it's called. So if you guys want to go see that, you guys can. So we're going to be reacting to this video, and I'm going to be giving off my points. Now, he's probably going to be talking about stuff like skill-based matchmaking or something like that. But one of my main problems is that developers are making 2 games at once when they should be making 1, or if they're going to be working on multiple projects, they should be like behind the scenes, kind of like Sledgehammer. That is just doing stuff like animations or like camos or whatever they're doing. They should be doing something like that behind the scenes instead of just making 2 full-fledged games just by themselves. So that was my main problem that I had in those games. So we're gonna be checking out this video, and yeah.
It's no secret that Black Ops 6 is literally dead. No one is playing this game, but why is that? Today, I'm gonna go over a few reasons why I think Black Ops 6 failed, and what I think Black Ops 7 can do differently to bring us all back to the game we once loved. Let's dive in. Okay, we're going to tackle the big issue right away, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put a picture up on your screen, and you're going to look at it, and I'm just going to ask you one simple question. What game is this from? And now, obviously, this is a Call of Duty channel. I'm going to be up front.
It's Call of Duty. That's also a big problem, because we're going to have a collab every season, probably. Season 1, we had Squid Game. Season 2, we had Terminator. Season 3, we had TMNT. And Season 4, now we have Beavis and Butthead. I used to like the collaborations, such as in Cold War, where we had Rambo and stuff like that, because it made sense for the game. Now, we could get something like Peacemaker in Call of Duty, which would make sense because he is a shooter, he is a killer, he is someone that would match in Call of Duty. You know, or they could bring in other characters from shooter games or shooter movies or whatever, right? So they could probably bring in an animated character that actually kills people, or they could bring in like Marvel character like Punisher or something. They have so much potential with just this one game that they could do actual proper collabs with, but they never actually do it. They do stuff that will give them money. Now, Beavis and Butthead hasn't been relevant for probably over 10 years now, at the least, because that show is from my mom's time, which she's from the 80s, so it's probably around from that time, maybe even before. It's around that era, 80s, 90s probably. I have never personally seen it, like watched it, but I know the characters. I've seen them before in other stuff. I've heard of them before. But the thing is, though, I'm not old enough to have heard of them before, nor are many of these people. I mean, if you look at Bradders, he's never heard of him before. Or any other content creator that is like in their 20s, they've never heard of them. So I don't know what the target audience is for, because kids now, like Gen Alpha and Gen Z, like young Gen Z, will never know who these characters are. So there's not really a point of adding these characters in when they don't know who these characters are. Now, TMNT, of course, they know that. Squid Game, of course, they know that. Terminator, they probably know that. Maybe because MK11 and MK1. But still, they could bring in other characters. Like, Terminator made sense. I'm fine with that. Squid Game made sense in a way. So yeah, that one's fine. But TMNT makes no sense. I mean, Shredder kind of makes sense because he is a ruthless killer, but he doesn't use guns. So I don't really understand that one. And the same thing with the last game, Godzilla collaboration. I didn't really understand, but they're gonna do whatever it takes to get money. I mean, I understand Terrifier and the Crow because they do use guns and melee weapons and whatever, so it makes sense for them, right? And that was just my main problem with these Call of Duty games is that they have random collabs that just make no sense for this game. Leave that to Fortnite. Fortnite has literally anyone you could think of probably in your mind, except for like this many people, right? You can probably think of 90% of the people that are in that like in your mind, and they're probably in Fortnite. Sorry about that. But yeah, yeah,
It's not a trick question. It's from Call of Duty. This specifically is from Warzone, but it is Black Ops 6 Warzone. And a lot of this is carrying over to the multiplayer. We're going to really focus multiplayer on this video because Warzone,
I'm sorry. I know I'm pausing a lot, but the TMNT characters look so ugly.
I think at this time, it just needs to be its own thing. Let people do their thing over there. Now, I also want to ask you another question. What era or what year was Black Ops 6 in? What is the campaign
90s.
of this game? Well, it's 1980s. And I think if you're playing this multiplayer,
It's 90s. Did he say that in the comments? Did he? Sorry, guys. I said 80s. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
you've completely forgotten it's the 1980s. You don't know what year it is. You honestly probably don't know what planet you're on. So
No,
let me talk
'cause it
about
does
the
look
lack
mainly
of
2000s.
identity. They have thrown every single collab out there in the books, whether it was Ninja Turtles, whether it was Beavis and Butthead, whether it was Squid Games. I just don't think that that works for Call of Duty. I
No.
think that they could probably show me the stats of how many people bought Beavis and Butthead skins, and I'd be sick to my stomach. But how many people are you turning off? You're making that money from the game, but are you losing a core bunch of people that used to play this game all the time that they no longer play it because they're like, I'm tired of shooting Beavis and Butthead. We're playing a 1980s shooter. I don't know what you would call the word, but they've just kind of
It's copying Fortnite. No. Oh,
copying Fortnite.
right there. Someone had to say the proper words. It is coming from Fortnite. Now, Fortnite has a lot of people, and I think that the collaboration should just be left to Fortnite unless it is actually like a proper collaboration. For example, Rainbow Six Siege. I don't understand most of their collabs, like Rick and Morty and whatever, but their Black Noir skin made sense. Same thing with Call of Duty. Their Black Noir skin makes sense for Call of Duty. It makes total sense. I understand why they added Black Noir, but I don't understand really Homelander that much because he doesn't use guns, but at the same time he is a ruthless killer, so it makes sense in a way too. So I do understand that. And many other characters they did add into Call of Duty made sense in collaborations, I'm pretty sure. If I can, like the Crow, Terrifier, and um, Black Noir. Like they made sense. But many other characters that they've added, mainly most of them, like almost all of them, didn't make sense of why they added them to the game whenever it comes to Modern Warfare 2 to now. Like, which is Warzone, right? So I don't understand why they add these collabs because like at the same time I do like they're trying to get money, but you're losing money from people not buying the game because of this, and also losing money from people that used to play this game all the time, adding it to the game. I think all collaborations, unless it makes sense, should be left to Fortnite. Like Fortnite has Michael Myers for some reason, even though he's like an '80s slasher killer guy. When the game's meant to be family friendly, but who cares? They should just leave that to Fortnite with collaborations, unless they're doing something like Rambo, Terminator. I mean, they didn't even add RoboCop yet. I think that would have made sense too if they added RoboCop. That would be cool. I mean, we do have Terminator. Why not add RoboCop? It doesn't really make sense why they have these collaborations that don't make any sense. You know what I mean?
The battle pass system, the collab skins, the
Yeah.
events. And they used to do it in a way that made sense to Call of Duty. And now it's just like we don't want that in our game. But I don't mean to sound like an old head, screaming at the clouds, but to me, what made Call of Duty memorable back in the day was when the entire game encompassed an era of what you were doing. So let's go back to COD 4.
Okay, before he even says anything, I know what he's talking about. Multiplayer, zombies, campaign, all were like they all felt the same. You know what I mean? I know he's gonna say that.
Go back to World at War. COD 4 is a modern shooter. You play the campaign. It's this modern tech, the whole thing. And then the multiplayer, it felt very similar. You were in a modern settings, the buildings, all that stuff. You're in overseas. It matched. And then you go to World at War. And you know what? The single player, it's gritty, it's gory. Well, you better believe that's exactly what the multiplayer was. And even the zombies took it a step further in terms of eerie and just weird.
Sorry to hear that. It's my computer. I have a bad computer, I know.
And just that you're like, oh, I'm a little tense right now. And that's what that brought.
They did that probably with World War II, but many people didn't like it. I think because it was the lack of content and the content they had in the game, it was just grindy for all the content in that game. I think that's what it got mainly backlash for. And Ghosts, many people didn't like that game at the time. It's in my top 5 favorite Call of Duties for some reason. Don't ask me why. I just really like it. But I don't know.
And I feel like now everything's just this whole jumbled mess of stuff rather than let's make a unified project and let's make people love this game. I think you can kind of go nuts with the guns. I don't think anybody has a problem with blueprints being weird. And, I think back again to the Modern Warfare 19 Saw with it was the AMAX where it had the red lasers. I think
that
we're okay
makes
with
sense.
that. I think your skins, I think back to COD 4 Remastered. This was a game that didn't have customization, but they added it. And when they added it, they did a pretty good job. Now, I know some people didn't like that they added it, but they got to make money. And they did, obviously. But if you look at the skins, if you look at the faces, nothing gets too wild outside of the realm of the game.
It was all military shooter. Battlefield 5 did it right. Battlefield 5 was perfect until they tried to do this Call of Duty route where they went full Call of Duty with 2042. The next Battlefield will be like an actual Battlefield game, but it will be better than Battlefield 5, hopefully. So, if it is better than Battlefield 5, Call of Duty might just go down in players if they don't improve the game. Like, they might slowly actually start dying like Battlefield and Halo did. Because Battlefield is more of a military shooter. Like Battlefield 5, which came out 2018, maybe even before that, and is somehow more of a military game than the modern Call of Duty games. I don't remember Modern Warfare 2 being very military, because you would just run around with a random skin, like Homeland or whatever. It wasn't very military. Last game, I think, was probably not Cold War. Cold War did have manly collabs and whatever, like masculine, scary, military shooter guys, right? They did have that, but I'm pretty sure they did have like a duck skin, maybe. Maybe that was Modern Warfare 2, but Modern Warfare 2019 or Cold War were probably the last games that had an actual like military feeling. Because in this game, it feels more like a realistic graphic version of Fortnite right now. That's the best way I could describe it. It does not, and I mean not, look like Call of Duty anymore.
And I quickly want to go over, I think Charlie Intel or Ghost of Hope tweeted, like, they are aware of this, like, that people are turned off by this stuff. And I think BO6 just unfortunately was the game that they were going to try everything on. Because you got to think, Beavis and Butthead, all these are signed way before the game's even going. They're 3-4 months in advance.
I'm pretty sure they're making American Dad collab, so that's probably gonna come out next season. That's probably gonna be the next season collab.
So that tweet was probably 3 or 4 months old. So I'm hoping that they got the point and they're gonna see, okay, people didn't like this. We know it now. When we go into BO7, we're gonna be aware of it, and then we're not going to be as crazy.
I think since the next game could be more futuristic, they should add RoboCop. Like, I'm still stuck on that idea. They should add RoboCop. It's more futuristic next game. He makes more sense. Even though he's not really a futuristic character, he technically is in a way. He's a robot.
And I think people would
robot
like that.
human dude.
Okay, that's point number one. Now let's move on to point number two, and I think this is content.
Yes. I was actually going to say this. The lack of content in this game. The content in this game is very lackluster, or they just don't have any content. For example, the maps. The maps is the worst part about this game because we still have Black Ops 6 maps that released day one that are like 90% of the matches because the rest of the maps are all 2v2s for those fast-paced matches, and then some stupid modes that nobody's playing. I feel like they should bring back community thingies where like mods. I feel like they should bring back mods so people can make like cool little maps, like the cheese roll map where you go like cheese spiral or whatever. They should make it to where you can mod the game again, like Black Ops 3. I'm pretty sure was the last one, maybe even Black Ops 4. They should do that again. And if I'm not mistaken, Infection was the one that actually was the first one that got added to the game. That was like an official map from a community person, because they did these weekly events or something like that where they had it to where someone would make a mode or whatever, or monthly event, whatever, a mode, and then they import it to the actual game, and they kept Infection since then. I feel like they should keep that again, and even if they don't bring in new modes because the modes are not for them, right? Maybe they don't like some of the modes that people bring in. Even if they don't do that, they could just bring in like mods again, and then people could just play modded maps and have fun, just like how we used to have with zombies, except now they could probably do it with multiplayer, if not even Warzone, like maps that are custom made by people. Because this game is bigger and better than Black Ops 3. Not better, but you know what I mean. Development wise, if we're gonna have a 200 gigabyte game, we should be able to make it go up to 230 to add in maps custom. Because they should bring back down the gigabytes, because there's no point why it should be 200 gigabytes. Like that's so stupid. Which is just campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and not even including Warzone, just the base game. So 200 gigabytes is weird. But if they do bring that down, and then they add that mod section where you can add in like custom weapons to your maps, and then they should bring back custom emblems, custom camos, and really make the game feel like Fortnite UEFN, but better. Because UEFN is good, but the thing is though, it's still a work in progress. But if we have a Call of Duty UEFN kind of thingy, where we get to create our own custom camos, like how we used to be able to, custom emblems, how we used to be able to, and then also custom maps and custom game modes and custom weapons and whatever for the maps and whatever. Obviously, don't bring it over to multiplayer, like only modded maps that have those weapons imported can be in there, and if you grab a weapon, cannot actually go to the multiplayer game, because they're probably gonna have like a one-shot weapon that has aimbot or something like that. So don't do that. But you know what I mean. If they do decide to do that, that would be so perfect. Because imagine all the custom ability. If we're gonna have this Call of Duty HQ We should be able to have all this custom content that we could do whatever we want. Like Dying Light 2, there's a mod section. We should be able to have that again. Like in Call of Duty. I don't think they had a mod section, but even if they did, we should have mods again. And since it is a newer developed game, they can have it better than what it used to be instead of just being zombies. So, I don't know why they don't do that. I really don't.
Content in
I know I was
general, the
yapping there,
scope
but
of the game. When we played Modern Warfare 3 last year, if you played it, you really, if you didn't play it, you missed a really good Call of Duty. Well, at least the multiplayer side of things. But
yeah,
we
zombies was horrible.
last Call of Duty. We had a bunch of maps that were really good. We had a bunch of like fun events that happened. We had
Yeah, there's a new event pretty much every day.
the aftermarket parts. Pretty much there was something
The
every
weapon
week, it felt like, with this
customization
game.
was
In Black Ops
bad,
6,
but you know,
I feel like it's been the complete
like whenever it
opposite.
comes to
It
attachments,
feels like you're just scraping to try to find something to do.
especially if you're content creators. Like I love watching Call of Duty content, but I have to go back to Modern Warfare 3 just to see content because if we look at Black Ops 6 content, it's just highest Warzone kill with this weapon. Like I don't really care about that. Like I want to see some cool challenges or whatever. Like or cool events. Like we don't get any good events anymore. Like the last event that I know of that's in the game is like this new zombies event, but no one's really playing it as much. And all the actual events to earn camos and whatever, I don't even think we got one event that got to have camos. And there's no special unique event like they get a higher one, so you go up on like staircases, you climb up stuff in a certain amount of time, and you unlock a camo with it in that thing. They don't do that with this game. They did that last game. I feel like Modern Warfare 3 was really bad at launch because it had a really short campaign and it was fun at launch and whatever. But thing is though, they made it better by having updates consistently. Every single day there was like a patch note, there was a new event once a week that had a new camo that can go on every weapon. There was a billion animated camos as well. There's a billion cool camos that were from old Call of Duty or even just brand new. There was new weapons all the time. It was just so much that you can never get bored of that game. But with this game, you play 2 matches and you hop off the game, at least for me. I get bored of this game because it just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Whether
It just
it's
isn't fun.
the maps that get added, whether it's the guns that get added, there's just not a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like there's this tug and pull with these free these free updates.
Mm-hmm.
I just talked to me and Chopper just talked to Greg.
Shout out Going Dark podcast. I watch you all the
He was
time.
a former Sledgehammer guy, and he was like, "Man,
Every
Call
new
of Duty
upload.
gives you a lot of stuff, and 100% they do. Multiplayer, campaign, zombies, every single year. It's great, but multiplayer-wise, you can't just leave the product once you release it. Gaming is different nowadays. People need updates. They want to stay on the game. If you want us to stay on the game, you got to give us some.
But it's not even really the problem because gaming then was really simple. But the thing is, though, there's so many games that have more content than you because there's so much competition. If there is a game that is better than you, they're going to go play that game. So you need to update your game so you're better than your opponents. Call of Duty never really had an opponent besides Medal of Honor, but it was mainly a story game. Multiplayer was kind of like a second option. I don't even remember multiplayer that much. I barely even played it in Medal of Honor. But the thing is, though, Call of Duty never really had competition. But now, since you could just make a game on your phone now, pretty much, there is so much competition out there. If you don't update the game to make it better, you're gonna lose your players to a game that's better than you. And that's the problem. Everyone has access to a game developing engine. Unity and Unreal Engine are the two biggest ones. and there's so many free assets, and there's custom assets you can make. So it is very simple to make a game better than yours if you have 10 people, because you don't update the game. They just take what you made and improve it from what your fan base wants and actually add updates. And then they get your players and you have zero players. That's how it works. That's how it is now. If you don't update the game, they're going to go to your competition because they are doing something that they like. They are being better than you. And I don't understand why they don't understand that. They don't understand, oh yeah, people are going to still play this game even though we don't update the game. No, they're not. Many people are because they still like the game, and they have Warzone, which has 3 games technically. But the thing is, though, if you're playing Black Ops 6 solely and you don't have the other 2 games, or you just don't play Warzone because you don't like it, you have no content. You have nothing to do. So that's why on Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, since it was just terrible for the entire year that it existed or less, they went over to other games like Bloodstrike and whatever because they had stuff that they can do. PUBG Mobile is still one of the biggest shooter games because they add content. I don't understand what they don't understand about it.
Something new. And I feel like with the maps in Black Ops 6, though, it was a major issue. They were too small. I get the effort. They tried it. I don't think it worked. So
no, too small.
What would have been the best option is to put out a bunch of maps after the case and do like Modern Warfare 3 did. I mean, the best maps in Modern Warfare 3 are the DLC maps. They're great. 6-star, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal. And I feel like
Facts.
with Black Ops 6, the maps, I feel like we got one every 3 months. And don't even get it twisted here, guys. I get it. They added the 2v2 modes or the 2v2 maps. I don't want to play a 6v6 map on a 2v2 map. I want to have a little... I want...
That's also another part that I understand about him, too. I love playing, 2v2 maps for camos and all that stuff. But just playing it solely, not grinding anything, just feels so brain rot. Like, it was definitely meant for the new generation. And if you want stuff for the new generation or just people that go to work or whatever, just make a casual mode. I think zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone should all have casual. Warzone should have casual, solo, duos, trios, and quads. But also, the people that don't want to play that and just want to play regular, like normal, they should also have solo and not remove solo from them to put it onto casual like they did with this game, which I still don't understand why they did that. I don't play Warzone personally, but I saw Swag talk about it, and also Tim. I don't understand why they took that out to add this new thing into it, and I don't really understand it, and I don't get it. And it's the same thing with multiplayer. They should add casual for the casual players. And if they want to keep the brain rot maps, keep that to the side. But I don't want to be playing 6v6 maps. 6v6 matches on 2v2 maps. I want to play 6v6 maps on a 6v6 match. Okay? I only want to play 2v2 maps on a 2v2 mode. Alright? Just keep them separate. And if you're going to make one map for each, that's fine. I don't care. As long as you're giving content to both people and not just one map. Like, one map is fine for me, but a lot of people it's not. I think that the best you can do, like the least you can do, is 2 maps. There's no way you shouldn't be able to do 2 maps in 3 months. Maps are pretty easy to do. Like, I can make a map right now for Call of Duty right now. I literally can. If I just knew the basics of like storage and whatever, because because you have to consider like how big the map is, so it can't be too big to import it to the game or whatever. And plus, my PC is garbage, so I can't even develop any game right now, which I want to develop a game. But it is super simple with such a big team. You can make at least 2 maps in 3 months for both modes, because you're making 2 small maps and 2 big maps in 3 months. With a big team like yours, you should be able to do that easy.
I want to run just a little bit before I get into a gunfight, and we'll talk about that at another point down the road here. Also, let's talk about the maps. They added Grind, which is a remake. They just added Fringe, which is one of my favorite maps of all time, and they added into season what? What are we at? Season 4? Season 5?
Yeah, season 4.
It's like nobody's playing the game anymore. Why? No. Just save Fringe for Black Ops 7 at this point. So there's like a lack of content.
I think their thing about Black Ops 6 is that it's a testing thing to see what they can get away with in Black Ops 7. And then transition all the stuff from Black Ops 6 that people liked, like the maps and whatever. Even if they didn't like the maps and modes and whatever, they transitioned it over. And then add some stuff that people like. And it's the same thing with Modern Warfare 4. They're going to do the same thing. Modern Warfare 4 will probably be trash. Maybe besides like the after content, maybe. Because Infinity War is pretty good at that. If they don't do that content after thingy, like they're really bad at it, it's probably just going to be a testing game again. And then Modern Warfare 5 will be the game that they put in the stuff that people liked. Like, actually did the stuff that people liked. It's like they're going to be testing games. The first one. That's why they're making 2 games.
To play. Now, I have a couple solutions for this. I don't think it's map packs. I've thought about this more and more. I don't think map packs is a solution.
No.
Because at the end of the day, if you did play back in the olden times with World at War and all that, if somebody bought a map pack and then somebody didn't, it split the player base. You couldn't play with that friend until they uninstalled it, or you bought it. People wouldn't do that. So that's not the answer. I think there's 2 things that we could do here. Number one, we could do remasters up front. Okay? Hear me out here on this one.
If he's talking about like remaster games, that makes total sense. I think they should do that. Have one game be, let's say, Black Ops 6, right? Instead of the next game being Black Ops 7, have a remaster game. And then the game after that, Modern Warfare 4, and then a remaster. They could do that. Or, if they even don't want to do remasters, and maybe do them every couple of years, just skip a year for a Call of Duty game, have the developers develop one game, right? So let's say Black Ops 6, and the next game be Modern Warfare 4. So then they have 2 years development time. One while Modern Warfare 4 is out, and a little bit extra time for the next year's Call of Duty after Modern Warfare 4. They have more time to develop a game than 1 year. And I know that's going to be like an iffy thingy. Thing is though, it doesn't have to be Black Ops 6, Black Ops and Modern Warfare games. It could be other games. I want Call of Duty Ghosts Part 2, because they haven't made Call of Duty Ghosts Part 2, and they left us in a giant cliffhanger and a hanger in the campaign. Like, I really want to see that, but anyway, they could do so much more with the other games they have. Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare. The only game series is that the right word? Series that they've done was Black Ops and Modern Warfare. There's so many other Call of Duty games that they haven't even touched since they released them. Like Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, World at War. I know it's kind of technically Black Ops, but still they could do World at War 2, right? And there's so many other games they could do. You know, World War 2 Part 2, maybe. I don't even know. Like, just make it like another World War 2 game. Like Vanguard. Like, Vanguard was bad. Like, it was the worst Call of Duty in my opinion. But they could do something similar to World War 2 and Vanguard. Take what they liked and didn't like. You know, what they didn't like, throw it away. What they liked from those 2 games, from a World War game, put them into one game. You know what I mean? They could do something with that.
If you don't think you can make the great 12 maps anymore, just take the COD mobile route. hey, let's give them raid, standoff, hijacked at launch. And then we'll try to make like 3 or 4 really good maps over time. I'd like to say even more. And that
I'm pretty sure Call of Duty Mobile has like 12 seasons a year, maybe 10 seasons a year. Which they add in a bunch of maps during that. I feel like they should be taking that route. Just releasing a bunch
that
of
way,
maps.
it's like, okay, we got good starter maps.
Mm-hmm.
We know they're good. And then if they're good, if you're taking your best 5 maps and giving them as seasonal content, I mean, hey, that's a win-win for everybody. We're all happy. And again, that's what Modern Warfare 3 showed that we could do. MW2 maps, everybody loved them. And then they added 4 or 5 really, really good maps. So I think that's another thing. Also, I know Splitgate has done this. Obviously, Halo has done this. Halo especially, that I've been seeing recently, they're just giving the community tools to make maps. I don't know how hard this is.
That's what I said. Bring back community stuff where you could play community multiplayer maps with custom weapons. Bring back custom emblems and custom camos. Make it to where they can have custom zombies and Warzone maps. Like, if you include this as the Call of Duty HQ, like as a new game called Call of Duty Custom or something like that, called like COD Custom or something like that, it could just be its own like little section. Like, you could take as long as you want. I don't care. Take 5 years of development time to make this creative map thingy that you could do to make any creative thing you want, and have it as its own section where people can play it in, like, so it doesn't have to be like, oh, you want to play this Black Ops 6 map, well, you can't play it in Black Ops 7. Just have it be all in one place. You could do that, or you could just even develop it to where it can be in every game somehow, right? Kind of like UEFN, where you could just play it whenever you want, except Fortnite's one game. Like, there's not like Fortnite 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean, right? It could be like that if you want to.
Developer in the chat, feel free to tell me if it is. Why don't you just let the people work for you? I could tell you there are so many people out there that would love to make good maps, put them in a community playlist. Go back to Modern Warfare 3, the OG one. I mean, we got it like, didn't we get like Infected and Drop Zone and all this from literally community people making these game modes and events and all that stuff? And then they put them in the game. Like, it was a community playlist. Hey, these are the top voted things. We're going to put them in. Imagine there was a map editor and the top voted map of the week went into the pool of play. And if people hated it, they took it out. And if not, they just added it. You don't got to do any work besides adding it into your game. So I think that's one of my top solutions. Let the community work for you. We want to work.
Because if the community votes, then that means the community likes it. If you make something and the community doesn't like it, well, you guys took the time to develop it. But if there's a community map that everyone agrees is great, then everyone's going to love it, and they're going to give you props. Thank you for adding it into the game. We love this map. Keep it in the game forever. You know what I mean? Like, if the community likes it, you don't need to stress about, oh, are they going to like this map or whatever. People already like it. They voted for it. They already made their decision that they like the map.
For you. Look at the custom paint jobs back in the day. The people.
What did I say? I told you. They should bring this back where you can have custom camos and custom emblems. Please.
People that did it right. They were given ideas left and right of how cool camos could look. And player cards. So the community is artistic. They want to work. They want to help. Let us help. So, solution, remasters in the beginning. Give us your top 5 good, top 6 maps, 6v6. And then let the community work a little bit. Let us work. We'll do it. Okay, next up is kind of content part 2, but this is my third point. It's game modes. Okay, so we got to stop doing this. This is what they've been doing lately. This is what all the games have been doing lately. This is what...
All the game modes are the exact same from every Call of Duty game. And the new ones that they add or ones that they add back are just garbage. Most of the modes that they add in are just hot garbage.
Madden has been doing lately, 2K, we're withholding these game modes at launch. And then 3 months later, we're bringing them into the game like they're a brand new thing. One of my favorite things in Modern Warfare 19. Let me do my hand motion here. Modern Warfare 19. If you remember back, if you didn't know this, a bunch of people flew out to Infinity Ward and they played Gunfight. The brand new mode that MW19 and Infinity Ward introduced was Gunfight.
They didn't have it in Modern Warfare 2.
If you never played that,
they add in a mode that's brand new. People love it. They remove it. There's a mode that people didn't like. They add it back in. I don't understand it.
Mode, it is so fun. It was one of my favorite things to do in that game. I was so excited when Modern Warfare 2 came out. Before it actually came out, I was actually excited to play it. And when the game launched, Gunfight wasn't even in the game.
Nope.
And I just sat there and I'm like, wait a second. Something that I played, because you remember back in MW19 and even Cold War, they had like tournaments that you could do. You would win like camos and calling cards and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So they put a little effort into the game, that game mode. And when I got to MW2 to go play Gunfight, it wasn't there. And I think MW2's game modes at the beginning were very light. Like there was not many at all.
Nope.
So that really disappointed me. Now, eventually they did bring it into the game, and this is where they do. They announced this brand new game mode that we're adding, and I think it was Blueprint Gunfight, so it wasn't even the same thing. It was blueprints from the store that you played with, probably to try to get you to buy some of them. And I'm just like, it just doesn't feel the same. It's not the same vibe that we had in MW19, and I stopped playing Gunfight. I don't play it anymore. I think Black Ops 6, did they just add one in the chamber, or they just added something? I think it was one in the chamber. I think they added that in like season 3. So a portion of the roadmap is adding something that has been in the game since 2010, and it's marketed as something brand new.
That's how they get you. They promote it like, hey, look at this. This is brand new. We've never done this before. No. But then if you look back at older games, it's something they've already had before. They're just renaming it, adding some new little touches to it. It's the same thing, just with a new update. It's like Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2.
Keep it how it just give us the modes at launch. I don't think anybody's upset if you were to take that section out of the season pass and get rid of like, hey, there's no new game mode this season, because you got them all at the start. Now maybe you do some fun game modes like the Get Higher was awesome, and I'm trying to think of another one that I like that they added recently, but Get Higher is the only one I can really think of right now. But so like that's something you could go try. But even Get Higher, it never came back.
Nope.
Why is Get Higher not just continued on to the next game? It was made, it was a great mode, and it never came back. And I'm just like, what happened? I want to play that. Okay, so next up, I don't know if this is the proper wording for this.
Okay.
I'm just calling this point brain rot design. And again, this is not...
The 2v2 maps stake out 24/7, being so fast-paced to the point where it gives you that dopamine for those little kids that watch Skibbity Toilet for 4 hours and then go play Call of Duty for 20 hours. Listen, you can keep that in. I don't care. But make it even for the people that are playing 6v6. 6v6 gets no love, even though it's meant to be the base game. Instead, they give all the love to 2v2.
Not like a shot at any developer or anything.
No.
It's more, I kind of want to explain to you my thought process with this one, comparing it to old Call of Duty. Now, back in the day, this is going to be like multiple things kind of tied into one thing, but back in the the day you would like camo grind, but you would
Mhm.
kind of camo grind more casually. Like you were just playing the game as is. You were playing multiplayer. You would get headshots. The only really thing you could get to get the camo grind, again, was headshots. That's how you got the camos. It was 25, 50, 75, 100. Now, I kind of want to go two different ways, so I hope this makes sense because it made sense.
Yes, the camo grind. I do like the new camo grind system. I really do. I really like it. It's actually really fun to do it. But the thing is, though, if the game's not fun, the camo grind's not fun. I do remember when you had to get max prestige for like gold deagle or something like that. Wasn't it max prestige or just was prestige one? Either way, it was a golden deagle, and you had to get a certain prestige in a certain game. I forgot what one it was, but yes, camo grinding was very simple then as well. But now there is more camos to unlock, and it is harder to unlock them now, especially Warzone.
Into my head. But first off, let's talk about map design. I watched a wonderful video by Drifter, the OG COD guy. He was talking about the maps in general of how quickly you got into an engagement versus we could go to like Black Ops 2. Let's go to like standoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the exact numbers. I hope this is semi close, but when you spawned in, it took you 5 to 6 seconds to find somebody and shoot, which doesn't sound like a long time, but when you are sprinting, it's actually kind of a long time. And then in this game, it's literally like 1 second. So think.
And that's what I hate about this game. That's why I quit. Because whenever I turn the corner, 4 little Jimmy YY TikTokers are killing me over, and over again. I spawn, die, spawn, die, spawn, die, spawn, die. It's just instant deaths. I don't want to die in 4 seconds after walking through a door. Okay? I want to be able to spawn without getting shot with a sniper by this guy doing 400 360s using the Omni movement, no scoping. I don't want that. I want to be able to play the game and actually be able to fight back. I can't spawn in without dying, so I can't even fight back. I can't shoot back.
Think back to every single map you play in this game. You can almost fire at somebody when you walk 1 second. Or sprint 1 second. That, to me, it's just not a fun experience to play that all the time.
No.
Yes, it's great to play it every once in a while, and that's kind of going to tie into my other point. The modes with maps, it's just, we got to do something about this. The stake out the map that's super small, and it's always available 24/7. That map is literally the definition of TikTok in my head.
Yes.
People are just playing it to grind their camos. They get them so quickly. And then I think when you get done camo grinding, you're like, okay, what exactly am I actually doing this for?
One thing that I quit the camo grind for was not because it was hard to grind. It was just because when you get the camo, you're like, what am I going to do after this? Like, if I do this camo grind really fast, there will be nothing to do besides just play the game. Like, I'm not achieving anything. Unless I want to get all the mastery badges and emblems and calling cards that you can earn. If you don't... Like, if you get everything in the game, like all the optic ones, like all the optic thingies, whenever you get kills with the optics, and you get like the new colored lasers and whatever, not lasers, but the new colored dots on the, like the optic thingies, camos, badges, and calling cards. When you're done all of that, which some guy did it in a week, if you do all of that, like you complete all the zombies maps, like all of them, and even on the harder difficulty, or like on the base difficulty, and also on the maybe training difficulty or whatever it's called. If you do all that, which you could do it in less than a month if you just continue playing and playing. Then you have nothing to do. But if you have like a job or you go to school and you don't really have time to play the game, besides summer break for kids, of course, right? If you don't have, or like weekends, of course, but if you don't have time to play the game because you have to do stuff, it is, it's like too much going on. Like, yes, it's good to have a bunch of content, but thing is though, it is too much for them. They can't get the battle pass maxed out in a week like little Jimmy across the corner, okay? They can't. That's not, they can't do that. And that's a problem for many people is that they play the game, they can't get everything. So they end up buying the final like little bit of the battle pass. But Jimmy completes everything too fast, and then he gets bored because there's nothing else to do. So that's really a problem that you can't resolve. But at the same time, you can balance it. You can have this much content for season 1 and then this much content for season 2. So then little Jimmy completes it fast, but still he will have fun in in like a month or two. And then the dad across the corner that just got home from their 9 to 5 will be able to complete it that season. So it's a perfect little balance in the middle for both, right?
Like I said, Black Ops 1, like it took you to the 14th prestige to get gold camo. So you were just playing the game. BO2, same way. Like you just got it over time, but it took you longer because the maps were bigger. And how I'm tying this in is I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, back in my day, I've said that like 4 times this video. Dude, they would have these modes where it was like shipment 24/7 and it was for the weekend. It was like,
yes, yes. And on shipment, they would have double XP weekends, and shipment will only be for the game, in the game for like about 3-4 days, maybe, like from Friday to Monday, as it says right there. Like it would be in the game for a couple days, and it would be double XP, and you would have a reason to log on, and be like, okay, let's grind this out. Shipment, fast paced, bunch of XP, I can level up, and then the rest of the time that you're waiting for another double XP weekend, you're just playing the game normally. But the thing is though, Nuketown is in the game. Shipment had like a billion versions in Modern Warfare 3, and it was a permanent thing, like Shipment 24/7 or something like that. Stakeout 24/7. Like there's never really like a new map that's in the game for a limited time.
weekend warfare. Get on, get extra XP, rank your guns up, get those camos that you wanted to get. And it put like a little timer on it. You're like, oh my gosh, shipment's gonna be in the game for 24/7 for 2 days? I gotta play. And then guess what? It went away. And then it was back to the normal gameplay. Slowed down a little bit. You know, we're a little bit more strategies involved. And that's going on with the brain rot design.
That's also another thing. There's no strategy. Like if you play Battlefield, which I know I've said that already, but if you play Battlefield, you have to think what you do. Okay, when I look around this corner, there's probably going to be a guy there. Do I look left? Like, do I look left or do I look right? Because, like, to make sure that someone's there, like, okay, when I turn this corner, I either look left and they're into my right and I die, or I look right and they're to my left and die, or I get a kill. And you have to really think about it, like, which way I should look, which corner I should peek, right? Which area should I go to? Like, should I hide in this corner for 5 seconds, get a couple kills, run over to that corner? Should I go through there? Should I go this way or that way? Like, you had to have strategy, like you're planning some sort of, like, bank heist in Payday 2. right?
Mine is there doesn't feel like there's any strategy in Black Ops 6. There feels like it's just sprint to the other side, fight somebody, die. Even on Search and Destroy, Search and Destroy was always that game mode where you were like, okay, let me chill here for a little bit. Let me go over here. Let me flank. Now it's like Black Ops 6 is just sprint to the other side and see how fast you can do it. And it loses that strategic gameplay that made Call of Duty great while still having that arcade design. It was still quick pace, but it was slow enough that it wasn't like a Rainbow Six or a Battlefield, but it was still had you still had to use your brain. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
we just need to untrain the people to stop thinking in TikTok brain and start going back to the old school COD. I think MW19 did it the best. I know MW19 did a lot wrong, but I think of like pacing and the gameplay. I feel like that had a really good formula. Cold War similar as well. And even Modern Warfare 3. Like we've had ones.
Cold War is in my top 5, by the way. Probably even top 3.
That are like they're there, and then we try to get too crazy. And I think BO6 just went too crazy. And I think they even know that. So that was kind of all over the place. Hopefully that made sense. But let's move on to the next point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I saved the best one for last because, listen, if I would have done this first, half the audience probably would have clicked off. And that, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about skill-based matchmaking, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to be as objective as I can with this. And I actually want to give a solution, and I think it's a good one. I do. We all know skill-based matchmaking seems to be plaguing the industry kind of every game. But here's the thing. It's not going away. They got their system in place. We have to wrap our brain around that. It is not going to go away. I hate to say it. I love to be at the forefront where it gets rid of it. But we've seen games try to kind of come into the scene, X-Defiant, try to kind of advertise no SBMM in our game, and unfortunately, it didn't do very well. Now, I think there were other factors for that too. No content is one of them, but again, it doesn't work anymore. It seems like SBMM is here to stay, and there's a percentage of players that I think it really helps. You know, your brand new player, you don't want them to sign on to your game, get absolutely smoked, and leave the game because it's all about retention. And I get that. I totally understand that. And I don't really like it because I'm from the way of thinking of, okay, if I suck at something, I want to get better at it. I don't want to quit, especially if
if they do decide to do no skill-based matchmaking, then I'm fine with that. But if they decide to keep skill-based matchmaking, they should make it different. For example, it should be recording your gameplay and giving it to an AI to put you into a lobby that matches your sort of gameplay. So whenever you are playing, let's say, Search and Destroy, and you get all 6 kills, you defuse the bomb, puts you in higher ranked lobbies. But if you got killed and got 0 kills, didn't defuse a bomb, nothing, it should put you in lower lobbies. Instead of you winning 2 matches and you're the most average player of all time, like you are like literally directly in the middle or even lower than average, like below average, you should not have to be facing against swag in Warzone after winning 2 games because it was all against bots. That shouldn't be what it is. But that's what they made it out to be. And I don't like that.
Enjoy something. Like if I want to get better at, baseball and I enjoy playing it, but I suck, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to get better at this. But I think that they want people to just stay and play no matter what. My way of thinking is if they don't like the game, they're going to quit anyway. So what does it matter? But I'm all over the place. I think you need to have it for a percentage of people. But I do think that there needs to be some sort of pool where as soon as you get into this wider pool, it needs to be a little bit more flowy. You need to get a little bit more ups and downs of players. There needs some bad and good. I tweeted this the other day and people had some similar thoughts. I got on Black Ops 6. I played 2 games. was the sweatiest experience of all time. So I simply tweeted, either I'm in the strictest skill-based matchmaking bracket of all time, or there's not a single casual player left on this game. So it's one of the two. And I got a lot of responses saying, hey, I watched my dad play this game. There's casuals on this game. So from my experience, I'm going to offer this suggestion. And I think they're going to probably do this. And I might get some crap in the comments for it. And I'm okay with that. But I think there needs to be a casual playlist. I think at this point, we're seeing where the industry is going. Fortnite has bots. Warzone has bots. PUBG has bots. If I'm just going to want to chill and camo grind and kind of just listen to music or a stream, there needs to be a playlist, and I guarantee you it will be the most popular playlist on Black Ops 7 if they do this. 3 real players, 3 bots. Simple enough. You have a casual playlist just like they do it in...
Instead of being 3v3, I think it should be 4v4. So there's 2 bots on one team and 2 bots on the other, 2 real players on one team, 2 real players on the other. So it would be 2 bots and 2 real players on each team instead of having 2 bots on one team and a real player, and then 1 bot and 2 real players on the other team if it's 3v3. Or you can have 3 real players and 3 bots if it's a 6v6 per team, right? So 3 humans, like real players, and 3 bots on one team, and same thing on the other team. If it's like that for 6v6, cool. But if it's a 3v3, it shouldn't be that. It should be 4v4, right? So 6v6, 2v2 also makes sense, like having 1 real player, 1 bot. So 2v2, 4v4, and 6v6 makes sense. And I guess also 8v8, but I would not want 8v8. That'd be too much for me, but still, I think that 2v2 would work. Like for the brain rotty people, or people that just want to camo grind fast, 1 bot, 1 human per team, right? Then 4v4 for kind of people that just want to play normally, want to have fast pace, kind of, or like, I guess it would be more of like casual in the middle, and 6v6 would be more for like veterans that know how to play the game, right? So I think it should be 2v2, 4v4, and 6v6.
Warzone, and that way, if you're a sweat like me, I don't actually try to sweat all the time. I want to go into a game and use a random off-meta weapon. Okay,
yes.
That's what I want to do. But if I'm...
Because camo grinding is so bad. That's why I go to Stakeout for camo grinding. Because if I go to an actual match, there's some guy with the best sniper of the game with the best attachments on, or the best SMG with the best attachments that turn it into an AR SMG. Like, that can go long range, medium range, and short range. Like, come on. Like, I just want to use, I don't know, a melee weapon or something to grind camos. I don't want to play Stakeout all the time whenever I want to grind camos. I just want to play normal match and just grind out the camos normally instead of having to go dead, 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 dead. Like, no, I don't want that.
I'm against TikTok YY Demon Billy Bob, who's using the Jackal PDW Dark Matter. What am I going to do? Go
right.
8 and 50? It's like, that's not fun for me, but ranked would be a reward, and you get something good for ranking your player up. Kind of like a Halo system, Halo 3 system. All right, I want to briefly talk about this because I don't want to speak. I hate talking about this. I really do. It's the hacking situation. I want to be brief because
I forgot to mention that.
I want to call a couple people out, and I'm not calling out any creators. I'm talking about people at home. Not everybody's hacking, bro. Okay, you may just suck at Call of Duty. Now, I'm also going to counterpoint that is, yes, there are hackers in Call of Duty. There was somebody in the World Series of Warzone that just got hacked, that was hacking in the World Series, got kicked out, okay? So it was just yesterday of making this video. So you're right. There are hackers. You are right. But not everybody's hacking. So I think if they could figure out a way to maybe revamp the anti-cheat, the ricochet system, and really get into...
You know what's crazy? Call of Duty has a terrible anti-cheat, but Fortnite... You never see hackers anymore. Chapter 1, you used to see hackers all the time because It was still early development. It was technically like an early access game until Chapter 2, right? But Chapter 2 and up, you never see a hacker pretty much. Like, you probably saw one hacker, maybe two, from Chapter 2 to now. Maybe a little bit more depending, like if you're a content creator like Cypher PK, you probably saw more because you're playing it 24/7. But if you play other games or whatever, I've never seen a hacker except one time, which was in Chapter 1. I've never seen a hacker in Fortnite since Chapter 1. Their anti cheat is so good. It doesn't compare to Call of Duty's anti cheat. Stop promoting this Ricochet anti cheat. Just go with that little cute bear looking one that Fortnite has. Because at least that one works. Yours doesn't, clearly.
Into a spot where people, like, okay, it's working decently enough that the trust is kind of coming back. And I think another thing too is just the culture shift in people. Dude, I remember dying to people in MW2 and Black Ops 1 and being just mind blown. I was like, that guy is so good at this game. I gotta send that guy a friend request. And now it's just like you're hacking. I mean, you go watch anybody. If they take somebody out, kill him, dude. The guy's screaming, "You're hacking!" Right? Instant reaction, you're screaming, he's hacking. And they have a reason to think like that because of how bad it was back in like 2019. I do think it's better now, but I think that there is still that doubt in people's mind. So you need to reassure them by revamping the anti-cheat. And also, this is a call out to the people saying everybody's hacking. You also need to reevaluate. You may not be that good. Okay? I'm sorry. Somebody's got to tell you that, man. Everybody in life will realize at some point or the other, if I go play basketball against NBA players, you got to wake up. I used to think I was going into the NBA. And then I played a team back in high school that half the team went to the NBA, and I said, yeah, I'm not going to the NBA. But I didn't say that they were cheating in basketball. No, they're just better. And if I wanted to get better, I could have. But I decided I'd rather play Call of Duty and still play basketball, but just play it at a more medium level. So some of y'all need to get better. But Call of Duty, I think you also need to fix the anti-cheat. There we go. Well, guys, that turned into 6 points. And the video went a little bit longer than I thought. But again, this is a rant. This is a Call of Duty rant, but I think I also provided some.
I don't mind how long this went. I know I talked for longer than he did, obviously, because I'm talking. But I definitely probably doubled the amount of time.
Solutions. And if you're watching this from Call of Duty, I love your game.
Me too.
Do I play Black Ops 6 that much anymore? No, I've been playing World War II because I enjoy it. But I'm just a Call of Duty guy. I want to see the game thrive. I want to see the game. I want it to be cool to play Call of Duty again. Now it feels like Call of Duty is the opposite of cool. It's like, that dude plays Call of Duty. What a loser. Hey, listen, I'm a loser. It is what it is. But I hope if you are watching this at home, let me know if you think I missed anything. Let me know if
I'm actually really enjoying World War II as well. It's really fun.
You think I'm wild on any of these takes. If you're a dev,
bring back HQ, please.
I would love to chat. I've been at the last couple COD necks, and I feel like you can give feedback, but I'd love to give more. So if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I'd love to chat. I really would. And I'd love to chat in a casual manner where I'm not just like, this game sucks. This game sucks. I want this game to thrive. So anyway, sorry for the rant, but I was excited to do this because I've never really done one on my channel before. You guys.
By the way, if you're seeing this, T-Dog, hopefully you are. I would love to talk with you. Maybe we can record a video. If you want to, I can go on your podcast, something like that. I know I don't have enough motion for that, but if you really want to talk, we can go on Discord or something like that. Talk about the game. My ads and like all my social medias are in my description. Like if you click on my user and then go to my bio, I have my link tree. All my socials are on there. So if you want to contact me on Instagram, you can, and I'll respond back. So yeah, But this was a good video. I'm very glad that you actually talked about this because I've been wanting to talk about it, but I didn't really know how to explain it in a way. Like I didn't want to write down all the points on like a whiteboard and then look for all the clips and whatever on here. You have all the clips and evidence and whatever edited video on on yours. So good on you, man. And I really love watching your videos. So happy to see that you are actually talking about a problem that not many people really want to talk about. I know there's a lot of people that do talk about it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't. Mainly because they want to play the game and they just don't really care because it's Call of Duty. They really love it, and that's definitely a problem. But yeah, I'll show you what my thing is anyway. So if you go to my channel, for some reason the link isn't a link right now, so you just have to like copy and paste it. So just go like that, copy, and then right here. This is an old web browser. Don't worry about it. I'm actually changing it. I want to make a custom one. My background. But anyway, here's my main YouTube, all my gaming channel, which I'm gonna start doing actual content. But I want to do more gaming content, so I'm gonna start doing FNAF and like easy games that my PC can actually handle. And then I'm gonna when I upgrade my PC, I will start doing actual stuff. I'm probably never gonna use my Kick, Rumble, or Twitch. I'm probably just gonna live stream on YouTube. Maybe I might stream on Twitch, but I mainly might just stream on YouTube. Um, Spotify, I'm gonna make some music. TikTok, I'm gonna start uploading clips for my videos. Instagram, that's where you can contact me and look at my Instagram. Look on my little cool pictures. You know what I'm saying? But um, if you want to, you can like T Dog. If you want to, you can contact me on Instagram. X, I'm gonna have that for like, hey guys, I'm streaming. I'm not gonna get Twitter Plus or whatever. I might just for the little promotion, but maybe not. Facebook, I have all the socials there. Patreon, I do have a Patreon. I'm gonna start doing reactions to movies and whatever, and like Invincible and whatever. But I have to make sure that it's actually legal. You know, and then I'm gonna make a Discord and Reddit, so we're gonna have some cool fan art and whatever. Don't worry about my old videos. My old videos are cringe, I know, but my newer videos are actually better. Like these videos here are all good in my opinion. I mean, they're my videos, so. That was 2 weeks ago already? My god. Yeah, I'm very inconsistent if you couldn't tell. But I'm gonna start uploading more. I'm gonna download some cool little games and yeah. Alright, love you all. Love you, T Dog. You are an amazing YouTuber. I actually really love your content. I watch you all the time. If you want to talk, a little chat, we can. Alright. Thank you for watching this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Actually, one more thing. I'm gonna be doing some music reactions. Okay, there we go. Bye.